Awakening. What can we expect? As the body begins to lose its density, in other words, as the darkness of it begins to give way to the light that is its actual substance, you will find the same thing happening to your perception of the trees and the leaves, grass, animals, and the buildings, etc. So you see, it is not an isolated experience relative only to your body, because it is the density of everything that is going to yield, apparently, to its diviner form as individuals become less defended against experiencing its divinity, the divinity of everything. Question: what specific physical changes in our body will we experience in this coming time? Answer: when you say in this coming time, I can only assume that you are meaning this time in the immediate future, when the shift of consciousness is occurring, which I have referred to in the past. And of course, in this coming time, it will be the full gamut that I have already described, or as much of that as you will allow, as much of it as you will be open to and will not argue against. We are talking about the uncovering of the only body there is. Uncovering is another way of saying revealing. And the revelation of reality right where you are is what has always been called healing. Now, if we are talking about the revealing of the only body you have, it is going to begin by what you call the healing of whatever current diseases you seem to be suffering from, a bringing of your body into a state of natural physical balance and efficiency, which will then be followed by what will be called the regeneration of lost limbs, lost organs through surgery, or parts of the body that were missing from birth, restoration of the five senses fully, and the removal of blemishes, inaccuracies, you might say, or small distortions that are not considered to be disease or indicators of dysfunction of the body. Now, as some of these later steps are occurring, there will at the same time be this reconfiguring of the body in terms of proportion and physical balance of the various parts of the body to other parts of the body, so that the natural beauty of the movement of creation will be visible and tangible and experienced. Mind you, all of this is constituted on the uncovering of only body that is present at all, right where the one that is distorted seems to be. Why is this revelation going on? Because there is a change of perception. And why is there a change of perception? Because there is a decreased defense against remembering who and what you divinely are. It is in that defenselessness that your perception of everything will change. And so the changes I have been describing relative to the body are changes that are going to be experienced relative to all living forms. So you will find the trees and the animals, and all living things reflecting less and less decay, less and less disease, greater and greater symmetry, the expression of greater harmony of instinct or of instinctive behavior. As the body begins to lose its density, in other words, as the darkness of it begins to give way to the light that is its actual substance, you will find the same thing happening to your perception of the trees and leaves and grass and buildings. So you see, it is not an isolated experience relative only to your body, because it is density of everything that is going to yield apparently to its diviner form as individuals become less defended, experiencing its divinity. But that self-appraisal that acknowledges divinity to be its nature and God to be its source is going to have to occur and is beginning to occur. As I indicated, the problem with AIDS is going to contribute to promoting that step of faith. In what? In the essential divinity of conscious human individuality. Everything will take on ineffable beauty, the light of it, even as you begin to see it streaming from the edges of leaves, edges of objects, the edges of your body, so to speak, will constitute a glorious experience, because it won't be just visible. You will be seeing it, apparently with your eyes, because your mind is not defended against experiencing the divinity of everything, the presence of God in everything. And the presence of God, which is the presence of the meaning of you, feels like something. It feels like bliss. It is bliss. And so we are talking about a major change in the experience of life. And we are talking about a major change in the experience of life within the next 12 years, not off in the future. The beginnings of this change are already occurring. It is happening, and everyone has the opportunity to flow with it. Shall I say the work has already been accomplished by overcoming the resistance that was allowed century after century to go by without seeing any major change. The point of critical mass was reached in 1845, and since then you have seen the major wonders and developments that have occurred, both positive and negative, as this is going to continue at an increasing rate. We started today talking about survival. When most of you think of survival, you are really thinking about extinction, and how do you avoid extinction? But I am telling you, you are living in exciting times and survival that you cannot avoid, not extinction. But survival is going to mean transformation. Not because if you don't transform, you won't make it, but transformation because there is a process of awakening that is occurring. So survival should be experienced as a word of great positive meaning. When you take off the thing you need the least, and then take a look to see if there is something else you need the least, what happens? You end up getting down to essentials. This means that you get down to being genuine, unashamedly your own self. And this is a very important part of understanding the word survival. Genuineness, unapologetic, genuinely being you, simplicity. When people talk about getting down to the nitty-gritty, it sounds terrible. But getting to the simplicity, getting down to the nitty-gritty means getting down to what really means something. It is actually very hard, and each one of you is working with the expenditure of great energy to maintain yourself in an artificial, separated ego sense of yourself. And that is why waking up is easy, because it is doing less. It is becoming simpler, not more stupid. It means coming to that which is essential, and therefore not wasting energy on what is meaningless, and therefore experiencing life with more meaning, more fulfillment. When you let go of what is not essential, you are no longer encumbered by it, which means you are not affected by it, biased by it, coerced by it, limited by it in any way. Taking off the thing you need the least is a matter of revealing what is essentially true about you. And what is essentially true about you is absolutely true about every other one, and every other thing. So as you take off these layers of sheets, of beliefs that are unnecessary, you put yourself in the position of experiencing your body as constantly improving, even though what is actually happening is that the distorted sense of its slipping away and revealing divine body, which you have forever had with you, which is present with you now, and is the only actual thing about you, visibly and tangibly speaking. This is not pie-in-the-sky philosophy or dreaming. It is not the basis for false hopes. It is the basis for having confidence in what you are, so that you can dare to challenge what are beliefs about what you are, allowing you to become disenchanted with them and thereby being able to lean into your essential divinity and pay enough attention to it, so that it has a fair chance of registering with you consciously. And so it is.